email go with the storylines is 9 different pitchers getting used. Were you expecting that? How do you think that threw you guys off?
I'm not surprised. They, to their credit, they had a good weekend last weekend against Stanford and didn't have to use a lot of their bullpen arms. And I think that was probably their way of keeping all their bullpen guys sharp and fresh and using one guy every inning. And that's we on the other hand kind of had to use a lot of our arms in excessive amounts this weekend, to get through a weekend with Washington with what we had going on here. So but I think that's a way to keep their guys sharp. It's effective. We don't get a look at the same guy more than one inning. We don't really get to make adjustments on it, but their strategy was good. But I think at the end of the day, we had our opportunities. We had 11 hits. It's not bad, and we had base runners and chances to put up crooked numbers a few of those innings, and we came up empty or with only one run there in the fourth, where we had a chance to really cash in there, and that was that stung a little bit, and you had an opportunity there, I think, in the second inning too, to with runners on second and third, and we didn't push anything across. So those 2 innings kind of came back to bite us a little bit. But end of the day, we swung the bats okay, not great, but not bad, and gave ourselves an opportunity to win a game. I think going into it, if you would have told us we were going to hold them to 5 based on where our pitching staff kind of was with available arms, I would have taken that. And our guys battled. We had guys step up. Fitzy stepped up. Matty Teating stepped up. Carlone, Sheaf. Halvey didn't throw the ball bad. Gave up a couple long balls there. That missed his spot on a few pitches. But at the end of the day, he kept us in the game. And we gave up 5, but we just couldn't put together the big inning.
You speak on those missed opportunities for this game as a whole. A lot of people may look at it as such, with it being the last ranked team on your schedule, at least for now. Does it feel like a missed opportunity to you, considering the at-large case in the resume for the NCAA tournament right now?
At the end of all this, we may look back and say, yeah, that was a disappointing one. But to me, they all sting. Anytime you lose, they all leave a mark. You especially hate losing to those guys. But at the end of the day, they play. It was all in all a pretty clean game on both sides. We pitched it well. They pitched it well. Swung it well at times and played clean defense. So all in all, it was a pretty clean game on both sides. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, our situation is we got to win games regardless of who we're playing against. And this could have been at least in the regular season an opportunity to move up, RPI wise. But I think if we're already counting RPI, we're in trouble. We just got to go out and win games and see where we are at the end of the season and hopefully make some noise in the conference tournament.
What's a night like tonight tell you in terms of your bullpen being able to, you're going to go down to Scottsdale and probably have to win 4 games in 5 days to win the Pac-12, and you have a bullpen that was basically almost exclusively guys pitching for the 3rd time in 5 days tonight. What does that tell you about this team's readiness to go and play in those kind of situations?
I think just the willingness to do whatever they can for this team. Matt Teating, Sheaf, those guys, Fitzy, that just say, I want the ball. Am I feeling great? No, but I want the ball, and I can help. I can get outs. So having those veteran guys that we do have in those situations that are willing to do it and able to continue to be effective, it's big. We're going to need that type of effort, here at the end of the month. But right now, from where we stand, it's a tribute to those guys stepping up in this situation and being willing to do it.
For Will and McLean to be 2 of the hottest hitters really in all of college baseball, to go combine 1 for 8 tonight against a pitching staff that was basically rotating with every single inning, is that something that you feel like is necessarily a problem that you feel like is just going to be easy to rotate on, considering the fact that you're not going to see that night in, night out, just a different arm each and every night, and considering, obviously for Will and McLean, where obviously you had incredible weeks last week.
It's baseball, man. Nick McLean last week was prior to last week was down in the doldrums a little bit, and then all of a sudden he's the national player of the year or player of the week. It's just, that's baseball. Kean Vu's not going to go 4 for 5 every night, and hit doubles and homers every night. The kid's human. He had a tough night tonight. It's okay. He'll bounce back. I'm confident in that. I don't read too much into it other than the fact that it's baseball. He had a rough night tonight. It happens.
Eamon Lance stepped up. Ultimately the comeback fell short, but he really got the team charged up in the ninth inning, and he certainly had another one this weekend. What do you make of, this crazy little stretch of a couple of days where he just had 2 mammoth at-bats off the bench in late game situations?
He's been outstanding in those situations, and that's pinch hitting is tough to do, extremely tough to do. To sit and watch a game for 8 innings, then come off the bench and cold and not being in the rhythm and the flow of the game. It takes a special big league person to be able to do that, and to do it at this level with how he's done it has just been ultra impressive. And he has a knack for sparking these guys in the dugout and getting guys going, and trying to pick and choose the right moment to use him is awful tough, because he's, and there's honestly, I'd like to get him in there more often. I'm just trying to figure out for who, Compton, Vu, Toby. Those are the guys where I just kind of keep scratching my head going, gosh dang, if I'm gonna put him in there, I gotta take one of those guys out, and those guys aren't as good as pinch hitting as he is. Well, maybe Vu is, but not to the extent of how successful he's been. So to have that weapon on the bench to use at that point in time that I feel is the most crucial moment of the game is a huge weapon to have. I don't care, left-handed, right-handed, doesn't matter. He goes up and phases whoever and puts together a great at-bat. It's, some might say, well, why don't you play him more? Again, he's such a good weapon to have off the bench in those situations. It's again, games in flux a lot of times where it's like you go to that guy to win you a game and he just keeps coming through with it.
Cole's had an up and down season for you, but through 1.2 innings of pretty good ball tonight, at least from my vantage point. If he is able to continue these kind of performances, how big is that for down the stretch when you need to win games?
We're going to need everybody, to step up and hopefully play their best baseball these last few weeks of the regular season, and then hopefully beyond. For us, it's that time. We gotta get the best out of everybody right now, and he threw the ball better tonight, and continues to grow and learn. I think there's still room for improvement with him, but he's getting valuable experience right now. To go in a rivalry game and pitch like that, and Halvey same way. These guys that are still wet behind the ears, getting this kind of experience, it's going to benefit them in the long run. And they're doing good in these situations. So there's days where they have rough days, of course, but I think as long as they continue as a whole to get better, then we're going to need that again, down the stretch here these last few weeks.
I think it was 6 games in 8 days that you guys have now played at home. I want to know how impressed are you with the team's resilience over this stretch where you've won a good chunk of them, and then how important is that off day going to be tomorrow before you guys have to get back into baseball again?
The resiliency, extremely happy with the guys that lesser teams would have folded a long time ago. I think we had a pretty grueling schedule early on. It was awful tough. Again, maybe too tough for the on paper, whatever. But at the end of the day, they made it through it, and they are playing their best baseball here toward the end of the year. And if we can continue to do that, then that's when you want to play your best baseball. But they've been battle tested, and they've stayed resilient. They haven't quit. They keep playing extremely hard, and for that I'm awful proud of these guys. And the off day will be welcome tomorrow, and then we'll get right back after it on Thursday up at Stanford.